Welcome to VTV-NOW Veterans Television. I'm your host, Diane Williamson, United States Army. Did you know that March was Women's Month? On our show today, we're going to profile some of our outstanding female veterans, as well as share information that's helpful to our sheroes. So please stay tuned and enjoy our show.
I volunteered because, number one, I'm a U.S. citizen. There are so many freedoms that we take for granted.
Today, more women serve in the armed forces of the United States than at any other time in our nation's history.
To fight for the right to fight.
In ways never before possible.
Women want to do their job, whatever it is, in peace and in war.
The service of these women has been heroic.
Women are in combat. Let's make that very clear.
Their sacrifice is profound.
It's difficult to know that somebody that you don't even know is trying to kill you.
And their noble accomplishments largely ignored.
We were probably the best kept secret of World War II.
That terrible injustice will be corrected forever as executive producer Ron Howard and the creator of For Love of Liberty, the story of America's Black patriots, present Unsung Heroes, the story of America's female patriots.
Welcome home, women! Thank you for everything you did!
A 2-hour documentary special that will finally, and for the first time, set the record straight.
We weren't always known on the surface for what we did in our work, but we were there.
At the heart of the special are powerful first-hand accounts.
And that's when the giant fireball landed in my lap.
From women who have lived the story.
If there was bad guys out there, we'd go out and find them.
This eclectic mix of on-camera interviews
I knew this was going to be an unsurvivable wreck.
is illustrated by rare photographs, archival material, and personal memorabilia.
It was not a happy time. Didn't have any roof.
These are stories of perseverance and triumph.
Cargo ship captain Richard Phillips is safe and unhurt tonight.
And so that was a good day at sea.
Which reveal the unheralded sacrifices of this valiant legion of American patriots.
What can a father do clear on the other side of the world?
Unsung Heroes, the story of America's female patriots.
The women that have gone before me have paved the way.
It's a film about all guts and no glory.
All we ever ask for is that our overlooked history would someday no longer be a missing chapter in the history of America.
For every woman that serves, just like for every man, is their willingness to answer the call. This nation says, who will protect us? Who will leave your homes? Who will leave your families and protect not just your neighbors and the people you love, but people from across the country that you will never know, who will never thank you? And these women said, I will. And they all volunteered to do it.
I joined the military to serve my country, and initially I went in as a nurse. I became a flight nurse and flight nurse examiner and hospital commander, then advisor to the Surgeon General. I became a director probably because of my experience in the military and also my experience at the VA, but I've always been an advocate for women veterans issues, so I think that was one of the big parts of it though. A big issue for all of us is to educate the public, the veterans, to media, everybody that they are veterans. Women do not self-identify. If they're not aware that they are eligible, that means they're not going to apply for these numerous benefits and services, which they have definitely earned. We have an advisory committee on women veterans. We have numerous ways of collecting data from the women veterans, and they're the ones that tell us what the needs are. E-benefits is the portal for all veterans, active duty guard and reserve component. If a veteran's got any issues, she can call in and find out information out there. She can go to the VA Medical Center and ask for the Women Veterans Program Manager, who is somebody specifically educated and trained to take care of the women veterans. During Women's History Month, we're going to have a special program recognizing women veterans, honoring them. At that point in time, the VSOs are going to come in also and say how they are helping us change the culture, and they're going to speak to what they're doing with the women veterans. I want to point out that we recognize women all year round, not just during Women's History Month. The main thing, you're honoring those women veterans. Again, it's all eras and all services and all the eras out there, though.
For more information, you can visit the website on your screen.
'89.5 KPOO San Francisco, inside Lover's Lounge, LBD, the Love Back Doctor, serving you a good old dose of this medicine. And as it is African American History Month, Black History Month, whatever you want to call it, you know, we celebrate it every day. I don't play that 1 month, 28 days, whatever. Of course, KPOO likes to keep you abreast of what's going on. And right now I want to bring on a guest who has a movie premiere relating to the African Americans in times of war, finding our place. And I want to welcome you to the program, Ms. Diane Williamson.
Thank you.
All right. How you doing this evening?
I am doing fine, doing well.
And now, and you tell us about your organization, first of all.
The name of my organization is the Veterans Community Media Network. And what we do is make sure that the vets, especially in the East Bay, Oakland vets, know how to access their benefits and resources. A lot of them do not know how to do this. We make sure that they get a chance to hear the best way to do it, and we do it through 3 ways. Well, 2 ways, actually. One of it is a town hall held every other month at the West Oakland Library. And the second way is I'm in the process of putting together a 30-minute TV show on community access channels about vets for vets.
Mm-hmm.
And, things that the vets can use, what's going on for veterans in the community.
Absolutely. Wonderful.
Yes.
And within all of that, I take it that you've taken on a film project that's going to be screened, I should say, at the African American Museum and Library in Oakland this Saturday at 2 p.m. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
It's a 20-minute video called Finding Our Place, the Oakland Black Veteran Experience. And I came across the idea because while visiting Defremery Park, I saw some pictures on the wall where they had a lot of the black soldiers enjoying the building as far as games, dances, and stuff, and I was asking about it. And come to find out that building was used as a USO in the 30s and the 40s. I had no idea. So I decided to explore the history of that and put together like a slideshow essay, what it was like for vets at that time. They could not go downtown because of the segregation, so there was the push for Defremery to be used as a USO, which is the United Service Organization.
So you mean to tell me the African Americans, the blacks, and here in America, they were fighting in our, and I won't say our wars, but in the wars and in the battles and in the military service, were not allowed to participate with the other service men, white men in particular, in Oakland, California. Is that right?
Yes. What I found upon my research was a definite difference in what the black soldiers were allowed to do. there's always been that talk of fighting two wars.
Mm.
You know, fighting for your country and then have to fight again at home with your country, so to speak. And this is what I found, and with segregation being prevalent during that time, they had to find somewhere else to go. Because if not, they would get into trouble if they ventured downtown.
Mm-hmm.
From what
Wow,
I understand.
they get in trouble? What does that mean?
Well,
court-martialed?
It could probably lead to that. But what I mean, if you don't have a place to relax, let off some steam, be among your own, during that time, that might be pretty precarious.
Sure.
Given the time, the sign of the times. So they had a place for the vets to go. But it took a fight to get that USO status for Defremery Park. There was one woman who really led the fight for that, and her name was Frances Allbrier. She was a local activist, and I found an audio recording of an interview she had at the African American Library, and she talked about what it took to get that USO up to where the blacks could come in and relax and, have a dance or, play pool, play cards, and just have the camaraderie that you would have back home among other soldiers.
Community, form a little community for them, and they could relax and feel at ease and at home.
Yes.
Without the white overseer saying, "At ease, soldier." Right. I can't be at ease if you're looking over my neck. my guest right now, Miss Diane Williamson, and she is the founder of the Veteran Community Media Network, and you're in Oakland, California. In fact, you're inside a National Historic Landmark.
Yes, I love it there. Right in the heart of West Oakland, right across from West Oakland BART. Found that space by happenstance, actually, but it proved to be a really good place to actually watch West Oakland change. I'll say that. You're right there, and you see the neighborhood. Some parts of it stays the same, and you do see the change.
The gentrification, you mean?
Yeah.
Not to put words in your mouth, but there's a change, absolutely.
Right. Yes, so the whole gentrification thing, but it's good to be in among, because, some people walk through West Oakland and they don't recognize it. Here we see it, slow but sure. With us being there, hopefully, we can affect, hey, we're here.
Still
so
here.
Don't overlook. Yeah,
Still
do not
anchored.
overlook. Yeah, do not count what's going on over here.
In fact, the National Historic Landmark, it was formerly Liberty Hall, which was Marcus Garvey's headquarters here on the west in Oakland, California, and it is still currently black-owned, so it's a National Historic Landmark, and it's very few National Historic Landmarks that are black-owned.
Yes.
And this happens to be one of them, and I know you're in there with some other organizations as well, but how did you get onto this journey in terms of the media aspect of what you do, particularly with the veterans? Because I understand you're going to have there's some classes, some opportunities for them to learn some things, but how did you get started in it?
Well, I am a veteran, the U.S. Army. So I served in the Army for 4 years. Back then, and I was considered post-Vietnam, so I was after Vietnam. A lot of things hadn't changed a whole lot as far as women in the Army, black female soldiers in the Army. During that time, that was what was going on. I decided once I got out to go to school because I had what they call the old GI Bill. So I used every ounce, every month of the GI Bill, and I started out getting my associate's degree, and that was way back in Pennsylvania. So then I just started traveling with my daughter, and we ended up here to West Coast. But it was always about going to school because I had those benefits. I knew that I could always go to school while working. So I went to school. I brought my associates here. I had a couple of more certificates at a city college in San Francisco. All of this is in media, and that's when I learned, oh my goodness, I think this is what I like. It's as if I found my niche, video, editing, photography, all of that. So I did that. I got my certificates, and then I finally finished my schooling with a bachelor's at SF State, San Francisco State.
Wonderful. Congratulations.
Yeah. So finally, that was a big thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So it's all been in media, and I'm just trying to use what I learned at school. And one of the best ways to do it was to learn how to put on a TV show. Community, go out and find the content, go out and talk to people, learn how to edit what I shot, things like that. Yeah, so it's been definitely an experience.
So now this series, African Americans in Times of War and Finding Our Place, that's your film, correct?
Yes, Finding Our Place is my 20-minute film. Yes, but in Times of War, it's just been, there's a lot of information I believe that we don't know. I mean, 7th Street, the whole West Oakland, the whole West Coast is just full of stories about, black veterans.
Right.
And I think it bears repeating and making sure that we know about it. 7th Street, the Walk of Fame, all of that.
Absolutely. And 7th Street grew out of the fact that they didn't have any place to go.
That's right.
They couldn't go to the downtown clubs and establishments, and so they established their own, if you will, Esther's Orbit Room, amongst many others, in that that jazz, that historical blues and jazz area in West Oakland. So your event again is going to take place this Saturday, 2 p.m. at the African American Museum and Library at 14th, at the corner of 14th and Martin Luther King in Oakland. The address is 659 14th Street.
That's correct.
At Martin Luther King. And it should be a wonderful event. Now, they have a series of events that are going to take place paying tribute to the African American soldiers in war.
Yes, from what I understand, they had one on the 3rd, so it's every Saturday. So mine is the 10th. There's something on the 17th, which is a Saturday, and then they'll wrap it up on the 24th, which is a Saturday. So every Saturday they do have something pertaining to African Americans in times of war. And I just think this is very cool. Like every day is Black History Month.
Absolutely.
Because it's definitely what you make it.
You better believe it.
Yeah.
So, and let me ask you, for those who may be interested in getting involved with you and your organization, what is the contact? How can they contact you?
Okay, our offices, as I said, is on the 2nd floor of the Liberty Hall building, and our phone number is 510-834-3506. That is the Veterans Community Media Network. And we are trying to make sure that we have some vets. This is a shout-out for vets who want to learn video production classes. I'm partnering with the other entities that are in that building to see if we can get veterans who want to learn the basics of video production, editing, lighting, sound, things like that. And we have a series of classes we're starting in March. And hopefully, with whatever interest is going on, we will have improv, we will have screenwriting. Now, this is for everybody, but on my part, I am...
You focus on the veterans.
For the veterans, yes. Because it could be, it could be something totally unlike they've ever done. Like my experience, it could be very, what they call cathartic. I mean, you can get into something that's just really, wow, this is cool.
It can be, therapeutic for you.
Yes, very much so. And all while this is happening, I'm going to make sure I continue with my town hall meetings where I bring veteran representatives together with the vets so they can meet them at the community level, look them in the eye, and talk to them about how to get their benefits. It's important now more than ever that they do get their benefits. I have read that somewhere black vets leave a lot of money on the table, so to speak, by not pursuing their benefits. And if they have a disability, they leave even more money on the table, and it's due you.
So your organization helps them kind of close some of the gaps for them.
Yes. We're starting out referring, but making sure that we at least put the vet together with the vet rep. Make that connection first, and then they can take it from there. But what we try to do is refer and make the connection. So we do have something every other month, like the first Saturday of the month, and just talking with vets, and then they can, go on to the next step. But it's important that the Oakland vets get to know who's there to help them, because with disabilities, it could take a while. Because I am a disabled vet, and it took me 8 years. So that's why I created the Veterans Community Media Network, literally out of the frustrations and the time it took me to get my benefits. I don't want another vet to go through that.
Right.
If I got a chance to tell it, if I have to tell it 1,000 times, I'll tell you 1,001. So that's why this nonprofit came into being. Yeah, because it should not have taken eight years. And I've heard stories where they've been longer.
And that's just to get benefits that you're due from your service.
That's right. And a lot of times the benefits can help your families, your children, college, school, health care, all of these issues that are plaguing us now or top priority, vets should know about. It's not just for them. But if they have families, maybe you want something, put together for your family after you pass. Wheels, you know what I'm saying? Things like that have to be considered.
Right.
And we are due those benefits. So they need someone to tell them again or remind them for the first time, or just make sure that they realize this is what's available. I want to be the example. Been there, done that.
You're making it happen. My guest again is Miss Diane Williamson, and she is a filmmaker and the founder of Veteran Community Media Network, and she has a screening taking place this Saturday, Finding Our Place, as a part of a series of African Americans in Times of War at the African American Museum and Library at 659 14th Street. That's at the corner of 14th and Martin Luther King in the city of Oakland. And if you want more information about her organization, you can give them a call at 510-834-3506. Again, that's 510-834-3506. And you also have a website?
Yes, we do. It's www.tvcmn.org. It's literally the initials of the organization.
The veteran. Oh, I see. I mean,
yes.
The network. So that's tvcmn.org. .org. Indeed. Yes. And that's the Veteran Community Media Network, and the founder, Miss Diane Williamson, and her program this Saturday, 2 p.m. again at the African American Museum and Library, corner of 14th and Martin Luther King in the city of Oakland. And we wish you much success.
Thank you.
In your endeavors. Congratulations. And I want to get down there to see that event, but I'll be part of the cleanup team down there at the Overcomers Studios.
Right.
Indeed.
Right.
And we want to send a shout out to our folks at Overcomers with Hope Studios, and that's the place they have complete television production facility, and classes will be starting up and more information to come. So stay tuned to this radio station, and you can always contact Ms. Diane Williamson at the Veteran Community Media Network in Oakland as well. So we want to really thank you for spending some time with us. I know it was the last minute. Hey.
That's okay. I don't mind talking about it.
We know your event is this weekend and didn't want to miss out on an opportunity to get the word out to folks and some of the veterans. And, folks, pass the word around. Use all your social media networks and everything. I take it you're on the Facebook and all.
Yes.
How can they find you on the Facebook?
Under that name, the Veterans Community Media Network. I am there.
All right. Well, so thank you so much.
You are welcome. Thank you again.
Have a wonderful evening.
All righty. You as well.
Catch up with you. All right.
All righty.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Bye-bye.
Bye.
This Women's History Month, join me in celebrating female veterans. Let's recognize their strength, tenacity, and resilience. Meet a new generation of female veterans.
I am a veteran.
I
am a veteran.
I am a veteran.
I am a veteran.
You know, I get all sorts of questions. I didn't realize women could even be doing the jobs that you were doing. You're so small and so frail and so beautiful, there's no way you're a Marine. A woman came up to me and asked me if I ever had kids, would my kids be missing a limb too? And that kind of blew my mind because this obviously wasn't hereditary by any means. There's a lot of veterans, female veterans out there doing badass things right now. And I think that's a huge thing for us to focus on.
I served 2 combat tours to Afghanistan as a Marine aerial door gunner and survived a helicopter crash.
From everything that I learned in the service, asking myself, what do I want to do with the rest of my life, was not a hard question anymore. And I went into the performing arts. I will go in to audition that specifically asks for female veterans. And then I get there and they tell me I don't look like a female veteran. And I say, what does a female veteran look like? Because I served and there were a lot of other women that looked like me, whether they were black women, Latina, Hawaiian, and I've never booked a female veteran role. I served in health service management and security forces in the U.S. Air Force.
I was already out at my base doing my job, and we came back from a mission. That night, I rubbed underneath my abdomen, and I felt this mass in my left breast. And my thought was, I can't tell anyone. I felt like if I left, the guys would think I was running. And I knew that once I got on that plane to Germany to have it looked at, I wouldn't come back. So I stayed in country another 3 months. 2 days after I got home, I got a diagnosis of stage 3 breast cancer. I beat stage 3 breast cancer. I served as a civil affairs specialist on a cultural support team attached to U.S. Army Special Forces teams in Afghanistan.
When I tell people I'm a veteran, I cannot get that look. Which country? I had to say that U.S. Army veteran. I get a lot of negative stereotypes because they don't think I'm smart because I have an accent. I'm the first one in my family to graduate high school and college. When I brought my mom to my UCLA doctor graduation, she saw me get the hood on and get my doctor degree. It's priceless for me. I deployed in Afghanistan to work at an intel analysis, and I am also a Vietnamese refugee.
Female veterans leave the military and return to communities across the country. They are your friends, loved ones, and your neighbors. These are a few of the 2.2 million female veterans. May we know them, may we celebrate them, may we empower them.
VA has established a toll-free women veterans hotline to respond to women veterans, their families, and caregivers across the nation about VA services and resources. The Women Veterans Call Center is meant to increase women veterans' knowledge of all VA services and benefits they earned and deserve. The call center is in response to an increase of more than 120% in the number of women using VA healthcare in the past 12 years, from 160,000 to 360,000. That number is expected to double again in the next decade. At the web address on the screen, VA provides an outreach toolkit for women veterans to access new resources. Among the resources provided are answers to frequently asked questions, fact sheets, and backgrounders on women veterans issues.
Thank you for watching today's show. Join us next time for another edition of VTV-NOW, Veterans Television.